I used to think survival mode was a season, and for some people, it is. But for some of us, it became a lifestyle. Before we go any further, I want to take a moment. I want us to tune in with ourselves. I want us to answer honestly when we think about this. When people ask you, "Are you okay?" do you say, "I'm fine, I'm okay," but secretly, you're just holding it together? Or when life is good, nothing's really happening, do you enjoy those moments? Or is there a small part of you in the back of your mind that's like, something's about to go wrong any minute? Or is there times in life where you feel like, I'm thriving, but actually, you just gotten really, really good at surviving? If that resonates with you, this talk is just for you. So here's the thing. Awareness is powerful. Understanding where we are today allows us to unlearn. Unlearning only happens when we acknowledge the things that's happening with us right now. So today, I want to invite you all to that space of awareness. We don't always get the time to take these pauses, so I want you to take advantage of this talk. So that way we can begin to ask questions like, how did we get in survival mode in the first place? And how do we show up operating for survival mode day in and day out? See, life is already demanding as it is. I know it is for me. See, I wear a lot of different hats. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a best friend, I'm a student. But the thing with all those hats, they have some form of responsibility tied to it, whether it's doing homework for my classes, taking my two youngest to their therapies, helping my oldest prepare to come right here to Texas State. See, at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. The kids, I get them in bed, the house is quiet, nobody needs me, nothing's on fire, and yet, instead of sleeping, you wanna guess what I'm doing? I'm up, 2 a.m., scrolling on social media. I really should be sleeping, but sometimes you just get caught up. You're not really trying to think about anything, so you just go doom scrolling through social media. That's me. And like clockwork, as I'm scrolling, here comes these intrusive thoughts. Did you check your email? You should study. The kids are sleeping. Why aren't you being productive? And honestly, it's 2 a.m. I should be asleep, right? That's most what people do. They're sleeping, but no, I'm up. And then I start feeling guilty, because then now I'm like, maybe I should be productive, right? It reminds me of something my grandmother used to say. You stop when you die. And here's the thing, Mima really lived by that. She worked, she cooked, she cleaned, she took care of the grandkids. She was nonstop. You see, my grandmother, before she migrated to the US, she was born and raised in the Dominican Republic. And every time I tell someone that, they're like, oh, the resorts. She didn't live a resort life. Quite the opposite, actually. She grew up in poverty, a limited education. All she knew was hard work. See, my grandma knew that stopping just wasn't an option. You stop, you starve. See, when my grandmother passed, I could still hear her voice in the back of my head saying, you stop when you die. And it dawned on me, all she ever knew was survival mode. All my mother ever knew was this mindset. See, my mother, she was nonstop too. Single mom, raising 2 kids, all on her own. She knew it was up to her to make sure we survived. She worked multiple jobs, she cooked, she cleaned. She did her best. But me, being the oldest sibling, I had responsibilities too. I had to go to school, I had to do chores, I had to take care of my little brother Angel. He looks cute, but my God, he was annoying. If you're an oldest sibling, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And see, as much as I was annoyed, I knew that my mom worked really, really hard. So I had to do whatever I could to help. I had a moment with myself recently where I realized I think I've become a product of my environment. It doesn't help that, ironically, I was raised in the city that never sleeps. Growing up in New York, there's something going on 24/7. You learn pretty early in New York that survival mode is a default setting. You gotta pay attention to your surroundings, but mind your business. Keep your head on the swivel, but don't look anybody in the eyes. And even if you're not in a rush, walk with some purpose or get out the way. And if you visited New York, you know what I'm talking about. See, you have to stay on constant high alert living in New York. It's this feeling of, just kind of looking over your shoulder all the time. And it's not really hard to stay on high alert considering the sirens and the kids playing gunshots and block parties. I was in the thick of it for a very, very long time. I had this moment where I realized I'm tired. I don't want to be here no more. I gotta go, right? I just felt like I wanted to see something different, see what else was out there. I took one trip to Texas. Mind you, I don't know anybody here but myself, right? And my family now. And I decided in that moment, this is it. I'm moving to Texas. I never looked back. I got my family, my dog. We hopped in my teeny tiny Honda Accord and drove 27 hours from New York to Texas. It was a big change, but I felt like it was necessary. We pulled up to this beautiful, family-friendly community, nothing but, nice neighbors, and, the birds were chirping. It was just like very picturesque compared to where I'm coming from, right? We have a lake, by the way. We have a lake and a pool. Come up, right? Big upgrade. And here's the thing. I always stop because I realize, man, it's really quiet here. And most people would appreciate the peace and quiet. But see, me, growing up in New York, peace and quiet meant something's about to go down. So there's a part of me that's still a little uneasy with the quiet. I find it a little suspicious, But what I didn't realize was just because now I've changed my environment, I've got farmland around me, a lake, doesn't mean that I fully embrace peace. Just because the life is quiet doesn't mean my nervous system knows it. That was like a big aha moment for me. See, we are more than just our experiences. We're more than our upbringings, even more than our environment. I realized what I was actually experiencing was rooted in biology. Let me ask y'all this. Did y'all know we have entire systems dedicated beneath the surface in our bodies to keep us safe and protected? I didn't know that, but I did come across two systems that really stood out for me. One is the brain's alarm system, the amygdala. See, the amygdala's job, it has a couple, but one in particular that stood out was its ability to label things. So the amygdala takes labels and slaps them on things based off your lived experiences. Danger, no danger. Threat, no threat. And for the most part, it labels with precision. But sometimes, not so much. See, exposure to trauma, exposure to just lifing, well, it can make the system a little unclear on how to label things. But like I said, our body's trying to keep us safe, so it's still gonna sound off the danger alarms because, you know what, it wants to keep us safe. So, danger, 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 right? But there's no danger. But there's another system that you guys may not know by name, but maybe a little bit familiar for you guys. It's called the Ross. Not the guy from Friends. This one's not winning a popularity contest, but it's just as fascinating. It's called the reticular activating system. Let me give you an example of how you know him, because you do. Let me ask you, have you ever been in a market, let's say for a new car, and you start researching this car, you start telling your friends about this car, you even priced it out. And next thing you know, you start seeing this car everywhere, right? Never happened? And you're like, wait a minute, I've been taking the same route, the same commute, but now everybody bought this car? Yeah, that is not a coincidence. That is your reticular activating system at work. It highlights the things that you've put energy behind and puts it on the radar. It's the brain's attention filter. See, I want us to take a moment because this is where things get a little funky, right? We know the amygdala is sounding off alarms, and we know that the reticular activating system is putting things on the radar. But now what happens when they both start talking to each other? You know, they're two messy friends. They're just like, girl, there's danger over here. And then the other one's like, all right, I'm going to tell everybody about it, right? That's the Ross. The Ross is a little messy. So this is where it starts to feel like you're in constant survival mode cycle because your amygdala, it's doing its best to label, but the reticular activating system is also doing its best. It's just trying to keep you alert of what's going on within you and around you. Now, the truth is, survival mode isn't all bad. Sometimes it gets a bad rep, but it's worked for us, in some point of our lives. And it continues to work for us. Sometimes I think it works overtime. The question is, does it ever clock out? Does it take a break? Go for a stroll? No, it doesn't. This is where we begin to start asking ourselves, how do we shift to something new? How do we shift from this constant cycle of survival into a space where we don't just have survival mode working for us, we can go into a place where we can work with it. So I like to think of shifting from survival mode to something I call surthrival mode. See, surthrival mode is the space where we tap into that awareness, where we're able to really take those pauses and acknowledge the things we've been through, but not allowing them to control us, right? It's honoring the past, but still reminding our minds and our bodies that we're okay. It's growth without forgetting, peace without denial. My boy CJ, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he said what you resist, persist. That's our friend Carl Jung, psychologist, if you were wondering who that was. We're just close like that. So instead of us resisting survival mode, I want us to step into it with curiosity, right? Asking it simple questions, but powerful questions. So when survival mode persists, I want you to ask yourself this: what am I actually feeling right now? Even you guys sitting right now, what are you feeling? Are you in any danger? Is this feeling of urgency, is it real? Or is it something you can actually put on pause? As you ask yourself these questions, we begin to notice something here. We start disarming these things we've been replaying in our minds for many years, right? These emotional armors, these mental armors, these nervous system armors, bringing that awareness to our minds and our bodies, letting it know that we're safe. But you know what makes this even more effective? I know, this is gonna blow your mind. Breathing. Yeah, revolutionary, right? But Stanford University School of Medicine talked about research that found that the more we take time to pause and breathe, our heart rates begin to come down. It lowers your heart rate. So it's essentially like you're giving yourself a little oxygen hug. I want to take a quick second. If you guys could join me in a quick, deep breath. You don't have to move from your seat. Just feel better, right? Just like immediately, like 10 pounds just dropped off my body, right? If it was only that easy, right? But seriously, this is the perfect time to really just take the moment to really sit in with yourself, bring awareness to our bodies. These moments are powerful. But you know what's more powerful than the technique? More powerful than these survival stories? It's you. You're the driving force here. See, without you, survival mode wouldn't really have a job. So I want us to take a moment to honor you, the you that survived and is here now, the you that is choosing awareness over resistance. Because survival mode has helped us, but now it's our time to take the reins. Let's help it, right? Let's bring that awareness. Let's let it know things are good. So that way, the next time it's 2 a.m, you can let your body know we're not just surviving anymore. We're thriving, right? And those intrusive thoughts will come up. Trust me, they do. But this time, we're going to meet this with awareness and compassion, knowing that it means well. But right now, no one needs me. The kids are asleep. Nothing's on fire. We're safe. And honestly, I think right now, life is quiet. I think it's safe for both of us, not just me, for our minds to get rest. Thank you.